So far, 2023 has been a killer year for anime, and it doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. The previous spring season was honestly one of the best seasons of anime I have ever witnessed. There are so many shows that I haven't been able to watch because of the sheer amount of content the season held. This upcoming season has a lot of competition. With that being said, let's take a look at this summer's anime season. The first anime I want to talk about is a very unsuspecting one, for me at least. Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead easily has one of my favorite first episodes this season. I had no idea what to expect going into this, and to be honest, that only made the episode better. Basically, Akira is tired of his job at this hellish company. He works long hours, which prevents him from going home on a regular basis. Tired of every day being the same, Akira is done. He couldn't care less if the world ended if it allowed him to stay home from work. One day, his wish comes true, and the zombie apocalypse surrounds Japan. With the sudden realization that this outbreak means he doesn't have to go into work anymore, Akira finally feels free. Now he plans to fulfill his desires by doing everything he's missed out on. Zom 100 does an amazing job highlighting the toxicity of work culture in Japan. Akira worked hard to get his dream job, but it turned out to be a nightmare. Mixing this with the zombie trope made the series feel unique, and that's a feat in its own. In the past decade, the zombie medium has been bloated with a bunch of slop. It's hard to find a good zombie show, especially in anime. I believe people are so hyped about the show because it's different for anime as a medium. The zombie narrative has not been explored too much in anime, it's different, and people are all here for it. Judging only from the first episode, Zom 100 seems to have been adapted with a ton of passion. As I said before, it has an incredible first episode. It does a great job of establishing the story very quickly. The episode starts off by showcasing Akira's reluctance to go to work. It then cuts to his first day on the job. Akira is super excited as he's warmly greeted by his coworkers. But the longer he works, the more he realizes how terrible the job actually is. This segment showcases the progression of why Akira feels like a slave, creating a quick hook for his character. Not to mention the animation and camera work. This anime simply looks amazing. Its style is something that I haven't seen before. A series that was nowhere on my radar has easily become something that I can look forward to every week. The next anime should be a suspected one. I've talked about Jujutsu Kaisen a lot on my channel recently. I made a full-length video as well as 2 shorts. There's not much else I can say without repeating myself. To save you from that, I'm not going to spend too much time on this segment. I believe that JJK is easily the most anticipated anime this season. As of right now, with only 2 episodes out, it's rated higher than the entirety of Season 1. That just goes to show how hyped the community is for this anime. MAPPA has upped their game recently, and that's mainly because they hired a new director for JJK. The animation is as crisp as ever, and the art style is simply beautiful. The art seems to be much simpler than before, but it's more refined. I think this matches the art of the manga a lot better. Being able to step away from Season 1's detailed art has allowed MAPPA to do wondrous things. For example, MAPPA has added a bunch of anime-only scenes that complements the source material well and adds a lot to it. Also story-wise, JJK is at an all-time high. This season has some of the best arcs that I've ever read. After Season 2 ends, you can expect to see a lot more people be fans of the series. There's not much else I can say that I haven't said already. JJK fans are in store for an amazing season. Just sit back and watch history be made. Completely switching directions, we have one of the most wholesome anime on this list. Horimiya: The Missing Pieces adapts a ton of stories that were absent from the first season of the anime. I remember watching the show for the first time and falling in love. It seemed so generic on the surface, but little did I know it was so much more. Hori and Miyamura's relationship was seriously refreshing. There are a ton of shows that take forever to show off its romance. I was tired of watching 12 to 24 episodes of content just to see the main characters dance around the romance until the last episode. Horimiya was refreshing in the sense that the viewers watched the main couple grow and develop as partners from the first couple of episodes. I wish more romance anime would take note of this. Being able to see the enjoyment Hori and Miyamura experienced by spending time with one another was touching. The more I watched, the more connection the two felt. This made the anime feel incredibly genuine. This aspect of realism is what hooked me on the show, and I'm sure others can relate. From what I can tell so far, this season is a lot more chill. The story is continuous, but almost seems episodic at the same time. romance doesn't seem to be the main focus. It's more relaxing than anything. This season is definitely more slice of life with a romance vibe to it. It's the chill nature of Horimiya that got me invested in the first place, and I can't wait to see more. If you were a fan of the show in the first place, you will love this season, and I can't recommend it enough. It wouldn't be a new season of anime without some trashy isekai, but this one is actually good. What people consider the best isekai is returning. Mushoku Tensei Season 2 is finally here. After a 2-year break since the first season, fans are feasting on this new content. You can expect everything you know and love from the first season, but from what I hear, there's a bit of a tonal shift. The story gets a bit darker than before. Rudius is determined to find his mother and sets off to harsher land. Or at least that's what he tells himself. Everything that's happened to him so far has left a deep scar on him. Hopefully, we'll be able to see him overcome these challenges and continue to strive forward. He's also completely on his own now. I assume he'll get himself into more crazy adventures that continuously progresses the story and offers for some sick action. I have really high hopes for this season. Mushoku Tensei beat the bad isekai allegations, aside from being a little weird. It should continue to prove itself to be worthy, only adding hype to its already notable name. Speaking of trashy isekai, this one might be one of the wildest I've seen. The name alone makes me not want to watch it. Reborn is a vending machine, I now wonder the dungeon? What the fuck? You're telling me there's an anime about a literal vending machine and that's supposed to be entertaining? Okay, it was good. I was completely overlooking this show in the first place because I was that confident it was going to be dog shit, but it was actually kind of enjoyable. Honestly, the only reason I wanted to watch this was to find out how bad it was. You can imagine my surprise about halfway through the episode when I caught myself getting sucked in. It felt strange. Sucked in what? Pause. It felt strange to enjoy something when I previously had the suspicion that it was going to be terrible. It's hard to explain what captivated me from the start. The stupid idea of a vending machine was genuinely intriguing. If you want a synopsis, just read the title. It does a better job than I would. Of course, I'm not saying this is the best show on the list, but if your guilty pleasure is isekai, you'll more than likely love this anime. When you think of romance anime, your mind immediately goes to a school setting with two polar opposite individuals who eventually end up falling for one another. My Happy Marriage is nothing like this. Our main character Mio is abused by her family, they deem her basically worthless and compare her to the house servants. Her younger sister on the other hand is the family's treasure. Mio was sent away from her childhood home to marry cold-hearted Kyoka. At first glance, Mio finds Kyoka incredibly stunning. This dramatic story's focus is Mio finding love, but more importantly, finding herself. Oh, by the way, they also got some psychic brain powers, I don't really know. When first coming across this anime, I almost decided not to watch it. Its biggest turnoff for me was the setting, but the more I watched, the more intrigued I was. One aspect of the show that really captured my attention was the music. In the beginning, we get a lot of information about Mio's backstory. This is a risky move to make because most viewers won't feel a connection to a character within the first couple of episodes, but that wasn't the case for me. I found my attention was focused on the music during these dramatic scenes. It was honestly compelling and it brought out a lot of feelings that would not have existed without it. Oh yeah, this is a Netflix adaptation, so expect Netflix animation. I'm super interested to see the direction of the story and how it's received by the community, so please let me know what you think of this anime in the comments. We can't talk about this season of anime without talking about Bleach. Part 1 of the 1000-Year Blood War arc aired back in October. Bleach fans were going feral when the anime returned after 11 years. Now those same fans get to see the beloved series end. Bleach has always felt the most neglected out of the big three, despite its amazing narrative and success. I'm glad it's getting the love it deserves from both the community and Studio Period that's adapting it. I'm actually only about halfway through Bleach, so I don't have the same experience as someone who's been watching the series since day one, but I believe this should be a special moment for every anime fan. Bleach will forever serve as a reminder that any anime can make a return so long there's a community behind it. There's not much I can say about this series other than it's spectacular. It's a must-watch if you're caught up. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video and the recommendations I gave you. Please subscribe if you want to see more anime and manga content. Like seriously, please, I need them.